All right, guys, so today we've got 3 more great family towns. And unlike the last video we did, which was 3 great family towns not in Knoxville, this is going to be 3 great family towns in Knoxville. So if you're someone that's looking to move your family here to East Tennessee and you like all the conveniences that come along with being in a city, then this is going to be the video for you. So we're going to stick to our 5 categories, which are going to be schools, conveniences, healthcare, activities, and safety. 5 things that I think are very important to all of us parents out there. So this video is going to be structured a little bit differently because the 3 towns that I'm using are going to be Farragut, Hardin Valley, and Bearden. Now, these 3 towns are all in West Knoxville, and they're all basically neighboring towns. So there's going to be a lot of intermingling going on, kind of like when we were talking about Maryville and Alcoa. So I'm going to structure this just a little differently, but for the most part, this video is going to cover all your bases. So let's dive right in, and the first thing I want to talk about is going to be schools. So let's start off with Farragut, and Farragut is coming in at a A, according to niche.com, and the lowest score is going to be a C for resources and facilities. So very good score there according to niche.com. And I do want to make a small correction for my last video, and I have put it in the description, but in the last video I did, I forgot to hit the drop down button. So the low scores in that video are all wrong because I didn't hit the drop down button. So just wanted to let you guys know, but I did make those corrections. You just have to go to the description. Anyways, let's move on over to Hardin Valley. Hardin Valley is going to be coming in at a B, and their low score is going to be a C for food. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, I would have rated my food an F. So this seems like probably an improvement from those rectangle pizzas that I had when I was in high school. But anyways, let's move on over to Bearden. And so Bearden is also coming in at a B, and their low score is going to be a C in both resources and facilities and food. Okay, so all 3 of those scores are going to be, fairly high, according to niche.com. Those seem like all good schools to put your kids in, like I said, according to this. So the next thing I want to do is move on to conveniences. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of intertwining, involved in whichever town you live in here. But they do, some of them do have things that others don't. So Farragut, for instance, has got probably the best shopping. I mean, if you had to put it on a scale, which I don't know if there's a way to scale that or not, or score that. But just because you have like Turkey Creek, which is going to have just phenomenal shopping, you've also got, a section of Kingston Pike, which has a ton of shopping. You've got like Campbell Station Road. You just know this, in Farragut, you're going to have pretty much everything you could possibly want. I mean, you're going to have the best shopping that we have here in Eastern Tennessee. Okay, so then also moving on to Bearden. Bearden's going to have a lot of stuff from North Shore through Kingston Pike, and just so you guys know, Kingston Pike is basically a stretch that goes from downtown Knoxville all the way through Farragut, and all along Kingston Pike is just it is just riddled with shopping. I mean, everything. I find myself on Kingston Pike all the time. As a matter of fact, I went to real estate school off Kingston Pike. My office is like on a road right behind Kingston Pike. We do tons of shopping there. I've taken my car I bought my truck on, the road right behind Kingston Pike. So there's just so much there. There's Westtown Mall, which is a really nice mall. Like I said, just so much stuff right along that. So both Bearden and Farragut, from a convenience standpoint, are just absolutely stocked to the brim. You're going to have everything you need, right at your fingertips. Now, as far as Hardin Valley goes, Hardin Valley doesn't have nearly as much because it's kind of like an outskirt of Farragut and Bearden. And if you look on the map here, you can kind of see it's just like right on the other side of 40. What's funny is I went to college in Hardin Valley back in 2010. And when I was going to school there, there's a little community college. There was nothing in Hardin Valley. There was like some neighborhoods and a Wendy's. I remember like I used to eat Wendy's like just about every day for lunch because that's all there was there. But now there's all kinds of stuff. You've got local stuff. You've got really nice stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of different options right in Hardin Valley. Now, it's not anything like Farragut or Bearden, but you still do have a lot of really cool stuff. Like there's like a local brewery there. There's like a local pizza shop. There's like a poke bowls or whatever. It's like the sushi bowl place. You've got some sub places. And like I said earlier, you're a stone's throw away from Farragut or Bearden. So really, if you're in Hardin Valley, you have fast access to either one. So on one side of Hardin Valley, you can take kind of like North Campbell Station and get to Farragut, or you can go the other way and you can go like up Middlebrook Pike and you can get to kind of that Cedar Bluff Bearden area. So like I said, although Hardin Valley is, I guess technically would rank the least amount of conveniences, you still are so convenient to everything. And then now let's move on to healthcare. So healthcare, I'm going to say really, you're going to be covered whichever town you decide to go to. Farragut has got a ton of, medical facilities. You've got urgent cares, you've got specialty places, you've got, primary care, you've even got some hospitals. I think there's a children's hospital there. And then Bearden's the same. One advantage to being in Bearden, I suppose, would be that you're going to be just a little bit closer to UT Hospital. UT Hospital is going to be the largest hospital that we have around, and that's located like right outside of downtown Knoxville. But really, like I said, you're going to have a lot of options within Bearden as well, kind of like Farragut, where you're going to have a lot of, your urgent cares, your clinics and things like that. Now Hardin Valley, you're not going to have a ton of options within Hardin Valley. I believe there are some, but not a ton there. But again, I mean, we're talking a short drive to Farragut, Bearden Hill, even downtown Knoxville if you needed to go to, UT or something. So healthcare, you're going to be covered. I think that you're going to be very satisfied with, with what's offered in all three of those towns. The next thing that we're going to talk about is going to be activities. So from an activity standpoint, all three of these towns are going to have a lot of similarities. I would say Farragut probably has the leg up just because you do have some stuff like in Turkey Creek, there's a really nice movie theater. It's got like the fancy seats that like shake and all that cool stuff. They've also got a Top Golf they got a couple years ago. And then you have all the outdoorsy stuff that comes along with like that Concord area where you've got like all the lake stuff. You can go sail, you can rent boats, you can, there's tons of public parks out there that are right along the lake that are really nice. You can go for a walk or a bike ride or something. It's very pretty. And then you've also got a lot of other stuff right there in that Concord area as well. Like you've got a golf course. It's like a par 3 course. You've got a skate park. If your kids are into skating or maybe you're into skating, I don't know. There's a dog park too. So that area is really, really cool. So I would say Farragut's probably got the most. Again, you have access anywhere you are in Knoxville, really, to any of these places. And then, Bearden and Hardin Valley both are bordering lakes as well. So Bearden is going to be, especially in that North Shore area, it's right along the same lake that the Concord area is, which is Fort Loudon. So again, you're going to have some parks. If you have Admiral Park, which has a disc golf course. I am a pathetic disc golf player, but if you're into that, it is really nice. I've done it several times and I always enjoy myself. I mean, it's nice just to get outside and do anything, but there's also like walking trails and things like that. And it's right along the water, which is really nice. And then, you've got some other things along Kingston Pike, that you can check out. I believe there's like a bowling alley and there's like a main event, which is a really cool place. It's like a bunch of like it's actually got like a bunch of different stuff in one. So you've got like a bunch of pool tables in one section, you've got like a really nice bowling alley in one section, you've got a laser tag section, you've got an arcade section. So for those kids parties, man, even adult parties, like it's a cool place. There's even a bar there, so you know what I mean. If you're going to be spending, the afternoon with all the kids and maybe you need a drink, you can do that there. And if you don't drink, that's fine too. You don't have to. So I guess Bearden would maybe be kind of the second. Maybe you could argue it's first. I don't know. I mean, these, you can make all the assumptions you want. Hardin Valley. Now, the difference in Hardin Valley and the other two is Hardin Valley, it borders Melton Hill Lake. So it is a different lake that Hardin Valley borders. And Melton Hill Lake kind of splits Oak Ridge and Hardin Valley apart. Now, just like the other places, there's a lot of parks along the lake. They're very pretty. You get a lot of, pretty lake stuff, lake views and things like that. And you've got a lot of lake access. So, for the kayakers, the paddle boarders, any of these towns are going to be ideal for you. But you're going to have really good access to Farragut or Bearden Hill I'm sorry, I said Bearden Hill. I meant Bearden, the Bearden area. I call it Bearden Hill because I used to work in Bearden, and we called our store Bearden Hill. It's, a high point in Kingston Pike where there's a ton of shopping there. But as far as activities go, I mean, you're going to have a ton of opportunity in any three of these. The only thing really that you don't have is a ton of like outdoorsy stuff. So like the ATVs, like the mountain stuff, you're not really going to have a ton of that just because you are in the city, but you're not far away from it, from West Knoxville to the Smoky Mountains, you're probably looking at like 35, 40 minutes. If you wanted to go hit up some of the ATV stuff that we talked about in the last video, like Windrock or, Royal Blue, you're probably, 30, 40 minutes. So, not too bad. It's pretty central there. Now let's talk about the last category, which is going to be safety. Okay, now in the last video, I told you guys I'm using this website, which is crimegrade.org, specifically because it would let me plug in zip codes and it would give me scores. Now, unfortunately, I didn't look into that tight enough, and what I found was a lot of the zip codes, it gave me the same score, and the score was for the overall Knoxville area, not specifically that zip code. I don't know if it just doesn't have the right stuff to pull from. I don't know what the situation is, but what it does do is it gives us a good color grade. So we're going to zoom in here, and I'm just going to kind of show you the map, and you can kind of make, assumptions as far as the crime goes for yourself. And full disclosure, like, don't take my word for it. There's a lot of really, really good crime maps you can look at. My favorite is LexisNexis. You can actually take a address, you can copy and paste it right into it. You can go through change dates, you can look for specific crimes, or you can look for all crimes, and it gives you kind of this interactive map. And that is a really, really good tool. So please do that. But I'm going to show you just kind of a general overview of what the crime is like here. So when we're looking on this map, what you're going to see, we'll start with Hardin Valley, which this is Melton Hill Lake. And that's and this is kind of the Hardin Valley area. So you see, you've got a lot of green in here, and then you've got a lot of yellow right in here. Now, where this yellow is, there's a lot of shopping, and that's going to be a theme, and we'll talk about that towards the end. But you can see a lot of these places, according to this, are scoring very high. And if we scroll down here, you'll see, so they've got it ranked like this, like A+ is going to be dark green, and then from that to red is means it's going down. So if it's red, it's bad. If it's green, it's good. If it's yellow, it's in the middle. Okay. Now, if we're looking at Hardin Valley and you look across the lake, you may think that there's a turf war going on over there every day, but I can assure you that's not happening. I don't know why they have this section so red. This is actually a lot of state land, and actually where Oak Ridge Laboratory and Y12 Laboratory are. So don't worry. I don't know what the crime is over there, but it's certainly not this. If I'll show you here. If you look on the map, it's literally just a bunch of woods and then the labs. Okay, so let's move up here and let's get into this Farragut area. So this Farragut area is going to kind of come down and do this. It's going to go around the lake, and then we're going to get into this Bearden area here, and then we're going to come up. And so you can see you've got a lot of green in here, which is good according to this website. Now up here where it gets a little bit more yellow, and even you've got like a little red spot there, this is actually going to be like Kingston Pike that runs through here. And Kingston Pike is going to have a ton of shopping along it as well. And, you know, I can't tell you why these scores are, you know, lower through here, but I think you could probably make the assumptions for yourself. You have a lot of stores, which means you've got a lot of people going to those stores, and sometimes, you know, people aren't great and people like to steal stuff. So, like I said, make the assumptions for yourself. Use the crime map. It's such a wonderful tool to make you feel comfortable, because that's the biggest thing. You know, I want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable moving here. You know, I know that it's always a stressful thing, especially when you're trying to move your family from states away sometimes. So you want to do everything you can to put you and your family in the best situation. And I want to help you do that. You know, I really do. So if you guys have any other questions about these towns, about any other towns I've talked about, or just about any other towns that I haven't talked about, I am trying to cover them all, and eventually I'll get there. Hopefully, you know, that's sooner than later. But until then, feel free to reach out to me for anything you guys need. Like I said, I'd love to help y'all out. So if you like the video, like, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.